Hello, this is me, Helmut. It's December 2010. In fact, it's Christmas, and I'm going to talk about a particular marketing activity which I have promoted for the last year, which frankly not many of you have yet done. So I'm going to send you out a new material, slightly updated, because some of the companies to be used have changed. But what it is all about is this. It's the review sites, the sites where consumers go in. They're usually for companies who have a local business, and people go in and review their local plumber, dentist, and etc. Yelp, CitySearch, Dr. Google, Google has their own review, Yahoo has their own review, and there are a few other ones. I can't remember them, but you will get them. As I said, one or two of them or so have gone out of business, other ones came up, etc. Now, let me talk about what you need to do there and why those sites are so important. Okay, first of all, tremendous amount of business owners fear those sites because people go in and make bad comments. Okay, so, and why do those reviews, those bad reviews, show up so high? I tell you why. They show up so high because, especially if a person types in the name, so let's say they know you, they like you, potential customers, and they go, okay, let me go and research him on those review sites. Then they type in your name, and anytime they type in your name, you always come up high. However, here is something important, and I mentioned that on other videos, such as the video about your speaking billboards and your 25 website and just the overall internet strategy. Your information on your website is not even half as important as your information on thousands and thousands and thousands of other websites. And ideally, those other websites are huge, they're big. In fact, your website can never be a real big website, neither can mine, to be honest. We can never compete with Google, we can never compete with Yelp, with CitySearch, we can never compete with YouTube and those type of sites, and there are thousands of those type of sites out there. We can never compete with them, so thus they are more famous. So when Google looks at them, to them it's like, oh, the New York Times speaks about Dr. Schmidt, so they put it high up. Or they go and look, Yelp, which is a huge website, speaks about Dr. Schmidt. And those websites, those huge websites, they're more than just huge. They have many criteria Google is looking for, such as updated constantly. Imagine if there are thousands and thousands of people making comments every single day, how often that site is updated? Once a second, something like that? I don't know, maybe 3 times a second. What do I know? Lots. Versus the average dentist site, the average dermatologist site, the average chiropractor site is updated once a year, literally. Okay? Except, of course, if you work with us, where it's updated about once a week or something like that. Anyway, all right. Now, so those sites are, in there for a while and all kinds of things there, and they have many, many links to other sites, obviously. So all that stuff. So they're famous sites. And if you show up on a famous site, if your name shows up on a famous site, it gets put on top of the Google search anytime, all the time. So that's why people are so worried about the negative comments. Well, first of all, negative comments will probably come around, okay? We're living in a country where everybody likes to sue everybody, and where, the internet, obviously not people, people who are nuts, they have their way, they can do what they want on there to a very high degree, and that's just all there is to it. So the only way to overcome that is to die, shut down, and just don't do anything, and then nobody complains about you. All right? So don't worry about it. Those bad comments, most people realize that those are people who grossly over-exaggerate. I mean, we have people getting killed, people walking in with guns into a McDonald's because they got fired from McDonald's or some such stuff. I mean, so just simply don't worry too much about it. How? Because you can't change it. Once it's there, it's there. You can go complain to Yelp, you can make your explanation, you can do anything you want, it ain't gonna go away. However, you can basically overshadow it. How? By putting so much more on it yourself with later dates, constantly. So if you have good information on those sites, lots of good information, 2 things will happen. If there is something bad on it, it will be getting overshadowed, it will get pushed down because there's so much good on it. And even if it still is seen by the people, if they see one bad and 60 goods or whatever, or one bad and 400 goods, or 3 bads and 400, 500, 600 or 1,000 goods, they will not notice it. I mean, they will not act on it. They'll go, wait a minute, okay? And let's assume they don't even see it because there's so much going on now. There's so much of the good stuff. People don't go and study you for 25 hours. They look at a couple of things and they go, oh, wow, or a good review, oh, lots of reviews, good. They go and do business with you. And most of the time they review by already having looked at you before. They have found you somewhere else in many cases before. Not always. They can find you on those sites, of course, also. So when a person makes a comment about you, there's automatically a link back to your website. Okay? Can be. Which again makes your website become very much more famous and more shown. But most importantly, you will show up. This is one of the part I'm talking about where your billboards, which is the 2 types of billboards in my opinion, none of them are real billboards. They're the billboards of a video, speaking billboards, and there is the newsletters or the clinical information you have. All of them need to be on other sites. This type of sites shall not be excluded. They're super important. There's a half a dozen or dozen of them, and you've got to get on. So how do you do it? It's very simple. Make up, and we have them. We'll send them in your package. Make up little cards like our Let's Help card, little like twice the size of a business card, and so that the information is on it about where to go, what to type in, and ask your patients to go home and write a review. No different than you will ask them to refer you somebody. In fact, that is the best way of referring, because if the person is somebody who does use this vehicle, and more people using this type of vehicle, if the person is doing that, then his friends are also on it. Trust me. Birds of one feather flock together, if that is right, but I'm sure you get the point. So then they're also on it, and this is a great way of promoting you. In fact, if a patient does that, he'll be speaking and promoting to thousands of people versus only to 1 or 2 mentioning your name. And you need to take advantage of this modern technology. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't do all that stuff, from the speaking billboard, which is the video, from the putting your material on thousands of other websites, your written material, or getting your patients to go and write reviews on those websites, which is it's like phenomenal, and puts your website up and overshadows any bad things which sometimes might be on or might come down the road, and by itself makes you being found. Having yourself not 1 but 25 type of websites, with each of your clinical topic different. Like if you're an eye doctor, then you have cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, nearsightedness, farsightedness, laser surgery, LASIK surgery, whatever it might be, red eyes and dry eyes, and all kinds of things. You want to have a website for it actually, in order to capture it. If you do not take advantage of this movement, this is not a fake. This is not a what do you call those things which come and go by? A fad. No, let me tell you something. This is here. Billions of dollars are made. Billions of dollars are made. Twitter is worth some $30 billion and doesn't even make any money. Facebook, the guy who started Facebook, this Zimmerman or whatever the hell his name is, Zuckerman, made a movie about it, is worth some whatever billions of dollars. Himself is worth billions of dollars, the youngest billionaire ever made. Google, YouTube, and thousands of other sites. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not using it. That would be like you making your wife washing clothes, not with one of those scrub things, those with those little wells on it. And no. You're making her washing clothes on the beach with the stone and hitting it. That's about how far back would you be, and maybe further back. Okay? End of discussion. And you will not possibly survive if you do not engage in using this fully. You know, why is it that when a new laser surgery or new equipment comes out, you're going to buy it for $20, $30, and $40,000, sometimes $100,000, okay? And yes, it's good that you do. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying it by itself has never really made you lots of money. Most of the time it converted whatever business you did into using that machine. So you could say, see, it does make me money. I'm using it every day, yeah. But you did make that money before too. Not saying that sometimes it doesn't make you more money, but here's the thing, the best mousetrap. Okay, you don't build a better mousetrap. Basically, you don't become a better doctor to do more business, especially not in this time and age. You got to promote it. Okay, and in this time of age, most of your competition fails to promote. And so it is easy for you to go ahead and capture a much, much, much larger lion's share of business than you could when business is going well, everybody does well, and everybody does a little bit of marketing because they have leftover money. It's amazing how many people I talk to say, I will do marketing once I have money. And that's like saying I'm going to go to the doctor once I'm well. Once I have no pain, I go to the doctor. It's the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you something, nobody can help you if you don't use this type of things for blood. If you keep thinking that having one website, being beautiful and being gorgeous is the way to go, if you think that hiring a search engine optimization guy who charges you $600, $800 and $1,200 to make your own website is the way to go, well then years later you'll just say, well, it didn't work. The internet is not what it is cracked up to be. Oh yes, the internet is what it is cracked up to be, but you need to learn it. You know, otherwise it's like me trying to use one of your lasers after not knowing what it is, just looking at it, reading the instruction for a few minutes, and then go and try to do a surgery. Patients will be dead, and that's the exact way it is going to be with the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, get moving on it, please. Bye-bye.